Hmong New Year serve in 2, 3 major part of the purpose. Number one, it's serve as a renewal of both physically and spiritually. So the physically is renewal of the new year and the old year, and that involve the 12 months of hard working as a farmers, that they would throughout start from January, work in the land, produce their crop at October, and November harvest the crop, and then they spend that New Year time 5 days, 3 days, 15 days, depending on the village, the location, to celebrate, to enjoy their in-year crop. Now, in that, for the physical part, it's part of the crop, and then the other part of that is to allow the villager, the children, to mingle together, to papa, and part of the tossing ball, part of the game Dao Tulu and Dao Tikai, all that is a part of the New Year celebration, allowing the younger generation to find their mates, to looking for their mates, and to build a future from that. Spiritually, side of it, in the new year, it's time for the shaman to release their shaman spirit to go do New Year in the shaman kingdom before they come back to serve people on earth for the next 12 months. It's called Zhak Huaneng. And so all the shaman have to do Zhak Huaneng for 30 days. They have to release that 30 days. So during that time, even the people in the village get sick, shaman cannot perform shaman anymore because they released their shaman already. And spiritual, that gone to the shaman kingdom already.
Like a little vacation for the shaman?
Like vacation.
They just relax
Yes.
it?
And they go to their king. They do have that kingdom for themselves. And so at the end of New Year, not at the Hmong New Year, then the shaman have to go back to invite them back to serve as a community service for healing their duty on earth. Then the other spirit is that for animal. And it's a new year, it's also renewal for the spirit of all the animal that you use during that particular 12 months for food, for anything. Hmong have a very kindness culture and respect that all the animals that have been used, it's time to release their soul to the next life cycle, and so that they can continue to move on their reincarnation cycle to complete the next one. And so all the animals that they use, they will release that. Then for the human, it's part of the people that who still live in this earth to enjoy their new crop. And before they eat, they enjoy the new crop. They offer all their new crop to their ancestor, to people who pass away, either doesn't matter how long, so that they will offer all that to the ancestors. Say, hey, for a whole year, this is what we did, this is what we got, and we want to offer it to you, and they also offer to the original God, whatever their village, their town is. Then in nowadays, a lot of people see Hmong New Year in today, it's in America. A lot of people only see the outstanding Hmong New Year is the day that you go to the New Year, enjoy, people come together. Like, for example, in the Fresno Fairground, a lot of times you go there. I think in the old day, you can still see people in the 90s when I would go to Fresno Fairground Hmong New Year. You used to see a lot of people tossing ball and play the traditional Hmong game, shoot ball, tossing ball, and courtship, and all that going on. But in nowadays, Hmong New Year, you go to Hmong New Year just like a flea market, and it's vendors everywhere, and you can just go there, walk with friends. It just become a tour site that you don't really see traditional anymore. So those are the different things that happen in different time in a Hmong New Year. But Hmong New Year really mean about it's the end of the year, the 12 months, the hard working, and you celebrate your life at the end of the 12 months, and you welcoming the new year. Now, in a spiritual system, to also it's a time to come and to wash away, to chase away all the evil spirit that exists for that 12 months, go with the old year. And when you welcome the new year, then you welcome all the good luck, all the fortune to start a new year, new life again. Part of the washing the old year is that, for example, the end of the 30-day, the evening of the 30th day, you can see how Hmong will gather outside. They will have a pole, they will have a string of grass leaf, and people will come and walk in circle. You have a shaman on the end of the pole chatting, and that is how you're brushing all the evil throughout the 12 months. You go work on the farm, you go outside, you have pressure, evil pressure, bad luck, misfortune, everything wash out by that process, right?
That is a cleansing process.
Right, and then that is a cleansing process. Then in that night, when you come home, you actually do soul calling. That is to renew your soul. Now the soul calling not only do for the human though, not only do the family member, you do soul calling for your animal, for your crop, and also for your money. That in that 12 months, you spend money in the market, you use animal for food, for clothes, or whatever purpose. The crop that you have in your farm, some you grabbing them back, take home, you're missing some, or the bird eat some. The belief is that even though the crop have a soul and spirit, and you don't respect them, you don't do renew soul calling for all the crop, all the animal that you use, then your livestock will be very low. Your crop will not yield as producers before, because the spirit of the crop feels sad that you not respect them, and you're not respect them, and you're not loving them, not caring for them, so they're not coming to you anymore. So the spiritual system not only for living things, also for non-living things. And Hmong have a very friendly way or system to respect living thing and non-living thing. And anything that they use throughout the year, that's where they go back and pay respect, say, we want to welcome you back. To start with, that's for New Year. Even though the water, now the first day of January, and like for example, in this country, we're waiting for New Year, right? When the clock strikes midnight, New Year start. And Hmong, they waiting for that. They don't have clock, but they wait for the chicken. When the chicken crawl in the first morning, everybody rush to the water hole to whoever got there first get they call that's the new water, the miracle water, the holy water. So you can see people line up in the water hole in the village, and all but everybody will rush that. And the belief is that whoever the first three get that water are the most lucky for the year, that you are get blessing throughout the natural system for renewal for your New Year. So New Year have a lot of meaning in a many way for Hmong to celebrate, to connect, to let it go, grudges, anything that conflict, let it go, start new way, start a new year, new way. And so Hmong New Year also one in a year in a 12-month event that provide opportunity for individual family to really present what they're earning through the year, what they're earning through their life, like a wealth. So clothes, for example, it's one of it. All the Hmong New Year clothes never worn to go work on the farm on a daily. That's a different outfit. And the Hmong New Year outfit, it's a different outfit. And that it's always preparation to show. And that outfit, particularly like your jewelry, the necklace, the necklace that you have, your jewelry on your arm, how much you have that represent the wealth level that you have in the village, respect that. And so not only to show off your wealth and then that, but that also get, most of the time you will have the single daughters were all that ready to welcome the guests in the villages. And that is how the young lady get the chance to do selection with their potential mate partner in lifetime through that particular close and wealth too. And so another part in the Hmong New Year that to show off and to showcase to the community that what you're in through the year. It's called Not Jia. Not Jia, it's a language from shaman time. And Not Jia, I mean Lambo Jia. So normally a couple who work really hard to raise a very good size of animal, particular pig. And so during Hmong New Year, that pig would be a meal for the whole village to come and celebrate this couple who work together as a family unit. And Not Jia becomes so meaningful for the Hmong family. It's a part to showcase how well as a couple you work together, how well as a parent and children work together, that you have a good meal to present to the community. And every family want to do their best on that particular one. The Hmong Not Jia Bei Jiao. Not Jia happened before Not Bei Jiao. But it come together. Not Jia is the first 5 days or 10 days right before 30. So people start Not Jia like at the 25th. And the 25th to the 30 people Not Jia Bei Not Dao Jie Dan Not Dao Gu Jie Mu Dao Ye Jie Bei Not Ho Not Ho Go Jie Li Ne Isn't that? So after you go through that circle in the tree, you go wash all that, you come back and you do soul calling. You have a separate chicken that you purposely offer that to the ancestor, which is, and then you set a table, you put empty table and put plates and everything in there, and then you will come as a teacher, you will come there and you will sit down. Then you will take a spoon of rice and you will put like a 3 little piece of meat on it, you dip into the juice and you will call. Oh, dad, let's say your dad passed away. Oh, mom, oh, grandma, right? Today it's New Year Day and we celebrate New Year. Please come join us for the feast. And then you put that right in there, in the plate, right? And then you go for the next generation. So you start from your parents if they're still alive. Then you start from the grandparent. But particularly this particular practice is really, really particular. If your parents is still alive, you don't do it, right? Because your dad would do for your grandparent. And now if your parent not alive, then you would do for them. Even though, let's say, in both your parent, one already passed and one still alive, then as a son, you would do for the one that passed. And you don't call the one that alive because the one that alive still stay with you. So you only call the one that's not with you. So majority of the AT clan, they will call your father or your mother, whoever passed away, or both of them passed away, then you'll call that to join you for the feast. And then you'll call your grandparent. So let's say when you do your mom, your dad, right? Then you do all of his uncle and all extended uncle if you know. And then the very last one before you go to the next generation, you said, I will do this one for anybody that I might forgot your name. Well, I don't know you. Here's yours. So make sure they are included. And then you'll go to the next grandpa second generation. You'll do for your grandpa and grandma, then do for their sibling.
But only for all who are deceased.
Right.
Directly.
All the deceased one. Okay. Yeah. And then do for, once again, all the relatives that you don't know. And then do for your grandma, grandparent, and then their sibling, which are an uncle, and then you'll go for that. And so that is a very particular. And you have to learn really well before you do. You need, and I found out really interesting as a scholar point of view, that is how Hmong oral record keeping in a family tree.
Reinforcing it.
As a son, you have to know your family tree because you have to do that every year.
In the ceremony.
Right. And that is a part of, I never thought of that until I really look at it. I said, gee, this is a really record keeping. It's a part of history. Reciting so that you know who you are. So you know your lineage, so you know your family history, which is really meaningful. That Hmong New Year, like I said, lot of emphasize part, even though in the traditional day, is the fun part, is the papa, the gambling, I mean the courtship, the socialization. In this country, probably the one that goes shopping because we have a lot of vendors, and so all that is always part of the Hmong New Year. But the spiritual part of it is the part that not really surface out. Gang also play different role as an entertainment instrument. So when you play gang New Year, then that it's a ritual gang. They also have their own song for entertainment. And so like a Hmong New Year or like a wedding or like any event, in a social event, you want to have gang as an entertainer, they can also come and do entertaining. So gang play both in the ritual and spiritual and also in the entertaining piece of it. In the New Year, they always have, for example, they call them D. D, it's always the entertaining part. When you see the king play, they go in circle, they go, that's always in D. But when they do the song, then you can see they stand still in the funeral, facing to the deceased body, and they just blow that, and they stand still, and they'll do this. All that is jacquing. All that have a song with it, specifically to the ritual. But when you see their entertainment, they spin, they jump, all that is not for the ritual anymore. Those are entertaining sections. The Hmong New Year is always part of the Hmong identity keeping. And that happened from a very historical point where that the Hmong, when the Hmong lost their kingdom to the Han Chinese, and the Han Chinese will prohibit Hmong to gathering, and Hmong created the New Year event as a part of gathering to rehearsal to process their government system, and they have to portray that part of like a culture ceremony, and they embed all that system into the Hmong New Year song, and that's why we have a lot of Hmong New Year song. And so all the song will be communicated as part of record keeping to keep the government system alive. And so today, you really look into the literature and the language of the song, you can still really find some of that.
Hidden pieces of history.
Yeah, hidden piece of history. There are certain procedures still trying to hit that. And so same thing for funeral song, same thing for wedding song, that as you know, the way that my teaching culture, diversity and oppression really present that lot of the cultures, probably all of our culture on earth, were caused by oppression. If you look at the Bible, if you look at Buddhism system, if you look at any culture system, it's carved out of oppression to really protect your identity.